throughout all three stages of Lijiang Tower. They might bring out the dive though, but probably not here on Control Center. This is a classic tank map. People have been running Rein and Zarya here as long as I can remember playing Overwatch, so I'm certainly expecting that to come out from both teams.
Yeah, I mean, even in metas where you didn't run much Rein and Zarya, you ran it here because it's just so good for those heroes. It's close-up combat. Usually it can even be a McCree playground, and so this is one of the maps that, regardless of meta, has definitely maintained a certain style.
Absolutely. Control Center, one of those classic maps. If you can take that control point, move aggressively up towards that choke point, towards your enemy's spawn, it's very difficult for them to force anything other than that classic choke battle fight where you're just trading resources into the Rein shield. You need that shatter, you need that grab to break through a hold like that.
We take a look here at France, and they're not really going to be reinventing the wheel, but there is one interesting part. We're going that 3-3, not with the Moira and Ana though, but with the Zenyatta, so it's going to be a little bit light on healing.
It's a mirror match here though, so it's about which team can do it better. We're waiting to get that key first Discord out. Both Reins trying to target the other. They need to get a fast shatter.
Benbest in trouble, immediately shielded. Gets out of harm's way, getting healed right back up. Again, a little bit slower, no Moira or Ana. Benbest going forward, looking for the other Rein. Both teams neck to neck right now. And you see Midna getting the shield, going aggressive as well. Benbest getting low, just barely able to back out, but his shield gonna break. And you see Italy going forward, trying to take advantage. Benbest though, able to get out of it. They deal with Midna, and both teams trading out, but it's gonna be Italy getting the better of it. Dragon Eddy got to the back, and Italy gonna be getting first control.
Heartbeat takes mid control here with 100 energy. Midna does go down, but at the same time, Italy surges forward to take that point. Now, France has to regroup, has to bring something new here. Italy has built a ton of ultimates, but France is very close. This is going to be some serious fireworks here.
One key here is that Heartbeat has to watch out for Nico. He's thrown quite a few Gravitons into the waiting Mama Diva here so far. It's been a weakness. Earthshatter in early from Benbest. Doesn't quite get what he's looking for. Italy holding strong. They drop the Sound Bearer. They look to re-engage. Midna on the Earthshatter, waiting. Graviton in from France. Pulls in 3, and France is going to clean up. Poco set the stage, and that's enough for France to get on through.
A bit of indecision there from Team Italy. They had the advantage. They had the Graviton up first, but it was Poco with the decisive play. It allows France to take point control. Now, fighting aggressively in this choke, it can be difficult to retake, even with ultimates on the side of Team Italy. They need to push France back, get onto that point, but it's so hard with France playing this aggressive.
Earthshatter coming in from Midna, leading the way, followed up by the Grav. 3 members of France all in. Self-destruct going forward, but France able to stay alive here. They only lose Nico's mech. Transcendence invested by Unco here lets them retreat. Italy though, hot pursuit, but they have to be careful. Carnifex almost gets poked down as he moves in, but now you're gonna see the Transcendence here from Italy. They use it to dive on in. They know there won't be a great response, but soon, off the flank, got Midna. He wasn't in there, and now you see France bring it right back the other way.
It was all Benbest there with a 4-man shatter, absolutely stifling the offense of Team Italy. They tried to get aggressive with the Trans, punish Nico, still in that Pilot Diva form. Oh, and the body block. Dragon Eddy, they won't even let him leave. Soon though, chases the frag. Dragon Eddy gonna be stalled out for a few more seconds here. France that's a crucial team fight to win. Now Poco has his next grab. Nico ready to combo on the self-destruct. Things are looking really grim for Italy here in Control Center.
Poco can set the stage here, and there's very little that Italy can do about it. All right, Italy, what are you gonna do? Front door, Poco's ready. Drops the grab, it's Eden, it's Eden! That's the one thing that couldn't happen, but did! And as a result, Italy able to charge on through, trying to take advantage. Carnifex on low, unable to use the rally in the nick of time, and France still making it work. Poco still charged up. Who needs a grab after all?
This is the power of this new Zarya, staying in high energy so long, just spamming directly into the spawn. Italy can't even leave their spawn doors without feeding Poco his next Graviton surge. Dragon Eddy, what a massive play to eat the grab from Poco, but it's just not enough.
Poco just looking for the shield here, high energy. Transcends up here early from Italy, but France, they can wait. You see Unco, he has a Transcendence of his own. He's gonna wait and then counter Transcendence here if it's even needed. Italy getting a bit low. You see France just trying to buy some. Heartbeat has had to leave the battle, and meanwhile France, they're over there. Graviton in, it's a flanking grab, they weren't looking hard. Here comes a big boom, doesn't quite connect. Transcendence out by Unco. France able to stay alive. Grab Poco again, not gonna do anything, but doesn't really have to. France in control, they're gonna re-grab here, and Italy about to fall here in the Control Center.
Poco 0 for 2 so far on the grabs, but it just doesn't matter. France has so much control on point. Now Italy, you can see on all these desperation swaps, the Doofus comes out, the Hammond comes out. They just need to touch the point to get this overtime going, but you don't have much hope to try and deal with this Zarya. Poco, 100 energy. He doesn't need an ultimate. He's just cleaving through them.
He's just like, okay, you know, the graviton thing isn't working out. I'm just going to keep lasering people. That seems good for me. France just needs a bit more. Italy is coming back in onto the point, so it's a little bit spicier than France would perhaps like right now, as both teams going off, and Midna going for the desperation special. He's on Hammond, swinging around, swinging to the other team. Gonna use his shield, get on out. Good distraction coming in here. And you see the rally, though, coming in from France. Armor going to them. They're using it to push right back into Italy here. And Poco, another grab. Is this one gonna be the finisher? He's waiting. Hammond's in his face. Gonna use the grab, picks up Carnifex, and everyone is in. Self-destruct. Over the top, makes some room for Italy. Takes down Poco, and Italy is able to turn the situation around.
What a ridiculous turnaround off the back of some insane stall play by Midna on that Hammond. He doesn't even have a real main healer to support him, but France just can't take him down. They can't lock down the Hammond. Midna going back to the spawn, wants to make a swap. I like his play. They know that they won't be able to hold the point forever running this comp. They need to switch to something a little more aggressive, but Italy, they're going to lose a lot of ultimates for that, and France, they're going to be all the way onto point before Italy even gets back to spawn.
And not the first one, got 30 immediately, but Ben Best goes right in. Gets the Earthshower, knocks down Dragonetti. France trying to take full advantage. Italy, though, in a decent spot, able to recover. They're wounded, but not quite out. France still looking to bomb over the top, finds Heartbeat, and France, they're just picking Italy apart. Italy just didn't have the resources to start the fight. France gonna retake control, and this time it should be for good.
I like the idea there from Team Italy. Get that retake with those overtime stagger comps. You know you won't be able to win with that team comp. You go back to spawn, try to switch that Ryan's area, and try to get back. But France, so aggressive. They capitalize on those players not being in the fight just yet and get the value there. Nice comeback, and wow, I wasn't expecting Italy to be able to make that retake.
Italy definitely made it closer than expected, and that's been a theme really all throughout this group stage, where even when there's a favored team, somehow we keep getting series that go to 5. Series that are way closer than expected. Couldn't love it more.
All the fans here, so much passion in the arena, supporting Team France, of course, the hometown heroes. What's not to love? France, they want to be more dominant. They need to set stage going into the rest of this series. Match score matters. It's all on them. Let's get aggressive on this map. On Team France, I want to take the fight straight to Italy, and they're saying so with their team comp. Unko on the Moira wants to get very aggressive. No Zenyatta here.
Both teams meeting here in the middle. No positioning advantage whatsoever. It's going to be down to the poke war. Early engage, and Carnifex is down. You lose Brigitte, you're going to lose the fight. Wins coming off the flank. Time to style. Looking for the boop. Down you go, says Wins to Midna.
That's such a nice boop, just barely getting Midna off the map there. And that's going to mean Wins gets a lot of ultimate farm late into that fight. Now, France taking control, exerting control on the bridge is Ben Best. He's got a full shield charge just hanging out here, and he knows Italy is not going to contest him on that bridge choke. That's way too risky against all the different boop abilities that this triple tank composition brings to bear. Now, Italy coming to the point, they're going to start to get this contest.
The scary part, though, is that Ben Best already has an Earth Shatter, and he's going to be looking for it. All they need to do is deal with Midna. Earth Shatter comes in, and no, they weren't able to get the break in time. Earth Shatter does nothing. Italy, though, still pretty low here in the fight. Trying to fight back in the poke. Looking for Ben Best. Ben Best charges, finds Carnifex, and swings a hammer once more. 52% to another Shatter.
Ben Best doesn't find anything with the first shatter, but that pin, it's hard to imagine a more perfect pin. He actually picks up the Zarya at the same time, sends the Ryan and the Brigitte deep into the rest of his team, and without support, they're just immediately crushed. That's all Ben Best right there.
The crowd is loving what they're seeing right now. France up 40% to 0.
And guess what? Ben Best has his other shatter already up before Midna's, picks up a huge amount of charge of that Fire Strike, and they're fighting even more aggressively, forcing Italy to challenge them in this tiny choke. They've all been grabbed by Poco.
They're going straight in. It's an absolute cluster of players right up in there. But Midna going down. Italy, they simply cannot maintain. France about 2 fights away from taking the map.
I love this movement around the map from Team France. They're forcing Italy to fight in these really uncomfortable chokes. You can see how hard it is to even see what's going on for the players of Team Italy, and yet they have to make it through that choke to make it to point. Now it's Ben Best with the shatter, looking to shut it down again.
Benbez looking for it, drops a shatter, and a knockdown two. Is Falker going to be there? Italy trying to turn the tables here, have a grab of their own, but Nico makes room. The self-destruct takes down two, and he with Benbez down. It's simply not going to be enough. France looking to put the foot on the throat here. Italy in trouble on Poco. Now it's time to microwave some people down.
You can see the power of Team France fighting in this enclosed corridor. Every time a player slips through, they get booped away, and then there's just no heals that can make it onto them. Especially with this Zenyatta on Team Italy, he can't really get any value in that circumstance. It's almost impossible to land a Discord. Dragon Eddie goes to point, going for that final delay. Midna trying to get aggressive, needs to finish his shatter, but it's Poco with the Graviton Surge. Won't let it get eaten, takes out the mech first, and a huge grab.
He can't be eaten if the mech is dead. That's Poco's philosophy, and France gonna be taking it in style here on Lijiang. A quick 1-0 France seemingly back.
We said they had to reset the momentum, turn things around, get things looking really good for the rest of the series, and it's hard to imagine a better round than that. That's textbook 3-3 composition play. Great use of the map by Team France. It's because they're fighting in those tiny chokes, making use of their Moira. The Zenyatta on the other team just can't get anything done.
The other thing, too, that I would really note is that I think relative to earlier today, this has been a much better series for Benbez here so far, where he's been getting Earth Shatters quicker. He's been getting better Earth Shatters when he has them. Sure, was every Earth Shatter good? No, but certainly more so than what we saw earlier today.
Absolutely, and how about that pin play in that mid-fight? There was that one contested fight. Italy finally made it to point. It looked like they were about to maybe start to turn things in their favor, but Benbez with the pin takes out the Zarya and knocks the enemy Ryan into his team, where they just completely evaporate him. So that's a great pin from Benbez. It's very risky to go for Ryan pins in the 3-3 comp. Sometimes it costs you your life, but Benbez finds exactly what he's looking for.
Also, you want to talk about target priority. The one person that was public enemy #1 was Carnifex, where I feel like France, as they play this more, they get more comfortable with it. And the one thing you always got to remember, you take down the Brigida, it's super hard to actually win the fight.
There's a few ways to start to break down that 3-3 composition. You take down the Brigida, that's a huge amount of AoE control and heals that you get rid of from your opponent's resource bank. You know, they don't have those AoE heals keeping everybody topped up. They don't have stuns to interrupt your plays. Your Ryan can start to get a lot more aggressive. You could also take down the Zarya. That's a huge amount of damage out of the comp, but you have to approach things a little differently. In that circumstance, you want to start to grind them down using your own Zarya. You don't need to get aggressive. You don't need to make plays. Just slow it down. And France, great understanding of how to use each different pick. When they get a certain pick on a certain character, they play the fight out very differently, and that's really showing their high level of knowledge in the circumstance.
No doubt about it. But now let's see where Italy's going to bring us to next. What hybrid map will we be going to? And it's going to be King's Row, so this is going to get down. It's going to get dirty. Probably going to have some tanks up and in each other's grill, but it's going to be great. It'll be glorious.
Certainly, there is an opportunity here for both teams to potentially bring out something different. We have seen, especially on this first point defense, a few other comps come out. In the North American region, for instance, Somber Doom with that Honest Zenyatta on the high ground was really effective at shutting down the 3-3 offense. It looks like potentially something a little silly coming out for Team France. I expect Poco to be retreating back to spawn real quick.
Poco, live your dreams. Run the Hammond.
I would certainly be happy to see it, but I think Italy would be happy as well. So France maybe not looking to give quite such a gift to their opponents with only 1-0 scoreline in the series.
Poco, I'm judging you. You just come out here, you give us some hope, and then you play the most reasonable option. How dare you, sir?
Certainly makes a lot of sense here, though. France, they have a keen eye on that map score. Of course, losing a few maps to Germany, they don't really have too much room for error. It's all about securing that one seed, and you want to set yourself up as well as possible for those potentially more difficult matches later on in the tournament.
So France not going to be changing a whole lot up here, but they don't really need to. Take a look at Italy, though. Italy, I don't believe we're going to see Dragon Eddie on this for too long. You might go for an early pick and then immediately swap, and doesn't even do that. Italy going to play it by the book.
Just scouting out, trying to make sure that France isn't slipping into any unexpected corners here. France, I like this positioning. They're getting aggressive on the low ground with their tanks, but you're going to see Unko playing these long sidelines. If you can put the Discord on Midna, Midna's really going to struggle to take those hammer swing fights. That's going to allow Benbez to get the first shatter and allow France to set the tempo.
Italy right now not looking very comfortable on the poke board here, where it takes them a while to actually move over to hotels. Bims, under a lot of heavy fire, is able to get on over, but you look at France, going to be rotating back and forth, challenging Italy, not letting them get the positioning that they're really looking for here. Now you see France. How aggressive do they want to be? Probably not too much here. You got to let Italy make the first move.
This is such a careful dance, but I like the positioning from Benbest. He's forcing Italy to come around quarters onto him, where he can get that maximum hammer swing cleave. You can see he's up 20% on Minda for this shatter, and that's all through his positioning here. Using the statue very well, wants to control these chokes and take the fight to Italy. Only when they overstep their bounds. And Benbest getting stunned. Push back, stays alive though.
Quick shield from Poco, gonna keep him in there. He's so close to an Earth Shatter, he can't fall now. He's gonna go in deeper. So low, 150 HP, but he's back in it. Earth Shatter now online. And Italy backing up a bit, so Benbest gets some time to plan this one out.
A lot of ultimates for both sides, but I have to feel if that's going to favor the defense. At best, if Italy wins this team fight, they've still lost multiple minutes off the clock. The grab comes out, finds a few, but the beat keeping them all alive. Benbest is cleaving, but not enough damage.
Got the Shatter. He's just waiting for it. Earth Shatter comes down, and he gets exactly what he's looking for. Transcendence comes in, but it's not enough to save Midna. France getting the initiative here in this fight. The grab might not have been enough, but the Earth Shatter certainly was, and Italy going to be forced back.
Heartbeat did manage to hold on to his Graviton Surge, and Dragon Eddy is prepared to combo it with that self-destruct. Poco desperately needs to farm up a new grab as quickly as possible. Of course, Heartbeat's going to have the first grab, but if Poco could survive, he might plausibly get another of his own.
Gotta look towards here. Minda holding on to the Shatter, bounce back a bit. Graviton is going to connect. All France in there. Bomb right to the back. And oh, nice stun coming in. Sets up for 2 pickups for Italy. France, though, they're going to use a Transcendence. They're still in this fight, even with that Shield Bash Bomb combo coming in. So France, very resilient here.
Nico definitely saving things with that self-destruct. Takes down the enemy Ryan and Zarya, and without those two characters, you essentially have no real damage left in the composition. Italy, though, with the closer spawns, starting to get aggressive, but now France is regrouped. The clock running low, only a minute 30 left, and Poco up on the grab first. Shatter doesn't connect here. Minda dropping low. Poco's getting aggressive, puts the grab down.
Grab is in. Minda in a bit of trouble here. All of Italy together. Transcendence gonna keep them alive. Nico out of his mech. Benbest with the Shatter, and they get the Brigida's result. Soon is down. Both teams wounded here. Benbest needs a bit of help. Absolutely wounded here. Needs to back up. And now you look to France. They just need Unco to come back over. Gonna have the Transcendence, and he's back in the fight. France gets to take a breather once more.
The issue here for Italy is that this isn't good enough. They need to do better than this complete stalemate we're seeing here on first point. France more than happy to run down the time blink, playing their defender's advantage very well here.
France very well set up, down to the final 45 seconds. Italy, they only get one real good shot at this. Minda almost falling there, and you gotta look to Heartbeat right now. You gotta get a grab with excellent follow through, but the way France is playing, they just haven't been giving up the opportunities. Heartbeat doesn't want to donate a grab to a diva, so he's just waiting. They're posturing, down to the final 30 seconds. Italy, simply got connect, but France, they get a grab first. They force out the barrier. Earth Shatter comes in for Benbest, 2 knocked down, Perfect, 1 in the water, they're moving on in. Stop barrier up. They take down Heartbeat, and even with the grab from Italy, it does get 2. It's super even, but the Transcendence is going to be keeping France alive.
So many shields taking absolute punishment here from the Diva Bomb, but France has lost both of their shielding characters. They're forced to retreat back up this point, but I would expect a recontest to be coming in hot and heavy. These spawners are going to be back very soon for Team France. They're going to have an opportunity for a 6-on-6.
Poco's also going to have the opportunity for the Fisher. Yeah, you're going to have 2 ticks, but now you're back to 6. Look to Poco, 78%, biding his time, looking for the pickup. Midnight down. There's not a Reinhardt. Benbest, now's your time. You have to move on forward. Graviton built up. Poco ready. Drops a grab. Moves on in. France gonna be cleaning them up, and this is looking like a first point hold for the French team, and it is.
Wow, what impressive. Impressive stuff there from Team France. It was Poco. 4 Graviton Surges in that round to Heartbeat's 2. That's the story of first point. That is why France is able to make the first hold.
And you take a look at how that final fight broke down. Both teams were drained, but Poco was the threat. 80% towards the grab, and it was like child's play. They melted down Minda, they fed Poco, and Poco feasted right at the end.
It was great isolation play as well from Soon, constantly stunning Midna, putting him in situations where he doesn't want to be. Benbest, you can see the way he was getting aggressive when the stun did come down from card effects. Most of the time, they were just sending Benbest back into his team, right back into their waiting arms, ready to heal him up, put all their utility on him, and keep him alive. At that point, your stuns aren't really getting too much value. And on the other side, of course, Midna constantly being isolated. When Stoon does commit the Rocket Veil, he's sending that Rhine back into that team, back into his Zarya, where the Rhine is just easy pick pickings, and that kind of early pickoff in the team fight is what's giving Poco these major Graviton surge advantages.
And the funny thing about Poco here, too, you pick back to a map and go. He doesn't always have to land the grab to have some good value there. He's like, hey, the grab is just a bonus. The real deal, the shields and the 100% energy laser.
I mean, that last round was a lot closer than it could have been because of Poco's grabs, but when he really lands the money grabs, as he's been doing here on King's Row, you can see how easy it looks for Team France. They seemed in total control that entire time.
So, the conditions for victory here for France, very simple here, Jake. They don't even need a full capture here in point A. They just need a little more than 80.6%, and that is going to be very difficult for Italy to hold. But if they do hold, how do they do it?
Well, it's all about utilizing that defender's advantage. You could see the way France was playing on defense. They weren't trying to make plays. They weren't forcing things to happen, weren't forcing a fight to actually break out. They were just burning that clock down, using Benbest as that buffer, making him tank all the utility, and they're giving him all the heals, just cycling ultimates time and time again. As the defender, all you have to do is stay alive and stay on that point. It's all about contesting the objective. It's all on Midna here. He needs to play perfectly with this statue, not let France get in and start capping the point. But France, I love this approach. They're getting the high ground. They're going to wrap all the way around Italy. The speed boost likely going to cross them onto the top right. No, they actually just want to take the fight straight to Italy. They see that Italy's backed up. They want to get right into the point. Midna's shield is low.
They just want good attempts here on the point. They're looking for Midna. It's a weakness in the water. They get Midna immediately. France with the 6-on-5. No Reinhardt to be the vanguard here for Italy. Heartbeat gonna fall, and France making it look oh so easy. They have enough time to eat a baguette here on the point because, frankly, Italy's not gonna get back with any sort of real contest. But you know what? You got Midna. He's gonna try.
Hey, it worked once before. It might again, but I think this time France is more than prepared. Stunning, instantly burning that Hammond down. They're capping the point. It's ticking up, and that is map 2. Team France. That looks much cleaner for them. This is the way Team France wants to be winning these games.
And this is the reputation they had coming into this, where there's so much talent on this roster. The expectation was France is gonna roll. And we know that Italy can play well. You think back to the game that we saw yesterday where they took on Poland and they looked incredibly good. But France, this entire time, was simply next level.
Absolutely, looking very clean, very polished in the 3-3 comp. It's all about those setups, that team play. You can see how well they're playing around Benbest. He fearlessly goes in. He's always sort of pushing himself to the limit, dropping low, because he knows that his team is right behind him. As soon as his HP drops too low, they're going to commit the Matrix, the Zarya bubble, keep him alive. And that's actually a major swinging point for the enemy team. You know, Italy sees that Ryan dropping low. They might think they can get him, overextend to try and focus him down. But when he's saved by his team, that's a real liability for Team Italy.
Yeah, I mean, Benbest, not only has he been playing well, but the support behind him has been phenomenal. But guys, we still got another half of Overwatch left to go. Join us after the break.